All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Angel with the Morning Brew. Just checking on the CPI numbers here, December 10th, seeing how these numbers, they just came out. Let's see how these they affect us. So let's see. I'm just going to put this on here for a second. 4.9, and that also is a high water mark. That is the highest level since June of 1991. We'll call it 30 years. These numbers were expected. As a matter of fact, on the year over. Let's go live here, if we can. All right, so CPI numbers came in at 0.8 versus 0.7, so it's a little higher. I think that's probably going to take the markets a little bit down. So let's see. CPI year is 6.8 versus 6.7. All right, so the question is it priced in or not priced in, right? So we got the numbers in. All right, so we don't need to listen to this guy anymore. Let's find out how the market's reacting. Let me see, where am I here? Okay. So, all right, so the market is taking it positive right now. All right, perfect. All right, so let's see how this reacts, and is it going to hold? So, let's look. So first thing we do, we're looking at the market. CPI numbers came expected. I was expecting 0.7, 0.6. If it came at 1%, I thought the market was going to crater. If it came less than that, I thought the market. So the question is it priced in? So we got to pop in the E-minis here. So let's dive in here for a second. Okay, so the 4 a.m. hour right here was at that 46.74. We're above it. Can we stay above it? So again, if we can stay above it, then we're probably going to rally. We'll probably go to that 4,700 level up on top. Then we have 47.20. So again, not a big enough number that I think that we're going to get a significant rally, but we're definitely going to open up higher right now. So because we closed at 46.67 and we're at 46.88, that puts us right around 46.90-ish. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's see where the opportunities lie. And what we do here, and I had a meeting yesterday. Let me turn this guy off because this guy's like, boom. All right. The one that's going to benefit from high interest rates, it is definitely going to be Goldman Sachs. I posted that this morning on my Twitter account. And this morning, on Barron's, off the bat, what I've noticed is the inflation data, Omicron, but there was something else that we noticed. All right, so here, chips, Nvidia, Micron, edge higher after Broadcom strong earnings. Avgo destroyed earnings, by the way. They just destroyed earnings. I'm going to be discussing them. I don't cover them, but now I'm going to start covering them because these guys are on fire. They announced earnings yesterday, and I'm going to dive into what I see with them. Lucid, we had a bad week. We knew that. Okay, there was something else here. Okay, so this, you have to be careful with Chinese stocks, okay? So what I'm noticing is Hong Kong is stepping up to attract U.S.-listed Chinese companies. Who's going to be next? Didi left, and it's going to hurt you in the U.S. stock market if these guys delist. So just be conscious of that. NEO reacted negatively to that news. Is it going to react negatively before? But overall, there's... Just the inflation numbers, and we have, let me see if I can go in here. All right, so let's just dive in. Okay, so the news front. Now, when I look here, and we're working our way higher. Okay, so XPX, when we look at it from the, now, why do we look at the dailies? And I got asked this question yesterday from someone that I was mentoring. And basically, it's kind of like the weather forecast, right? So every day when you come out, you want to see what's the weather forecast. What type of clothing should you wear? What to expect today? And that's one of the reasons why we look at the 4 a.m. hour to kind of say, okay, so this is our line in the sand. Whether the E-minis, are we going to be up or down for the day? That's kind of a level. It's kind of a level that we know if we're above it or below it. And also, when we look at the dailies, right, on the XPX, we kind of go, all right, so where are we exactly? Well, we're near the highs here, right? We know that they're selling pressure at that 47.42. We know we couldn't get up around 47.20. And again, right off the bat, there's consolidation on that 4,700. If we follow the 15-minute charts, you kind of know these numbers already. So we're pretty far away from the 50-day moving average. Okay, so this is on the daily, not that it's going to come back. It takes months sometimes, a longer period of time. If you can tell, when we break the 50, it always comes back, but it just takes longer. So to give you an example, October 15th, we came back, and this is December 1st. So again, a month and a half roughly. Now, is it going to come back? Possibly, don't know when, but at some moment it will. I can for sure. So what's going to happen here? Is this going to bounce down or rally? That 4,700 is pretty strong. Is this news going to be enough that's going to pop those markets? I don't know. Price action is going to determine that, or is it going to stop, right? So again, we're going to be watching price action, but we're going to be seeing that, right? So right now, we're pretty far out. 4,700 is pretty top heavy. The MACDs, if they turn, then there's going to be negatively. So watch the MACDs for momentum is either going to tell us that this move right now is going to be either weak or strength. And what do I look at? We look at the lines here. Don't look at the boxes, not yet. But if it starts curling over and price starts going up, it's going to tell me that that's a weak move. Okay, so there's not really a lot of conviction behind it. Now, if this starts turning, then that's telling me that there is some strength into it. And then it's going to be a new swing, right? Now, how strong is that swing? That's yet going to be determined. All right, so that's how we see the XPX. So right now, we're going to wait and see. All right, the Nasdaq is again much weaker, and again sold off pretty nicely. If you caught those moves, yes, good for you. That's awesome. But basically, we're going to wait and see now. So now, let me see if there's any news coming up here. All right, let me turn that off. Okay. All right. So, okay. So, and there's other news here. So now it's coming down. We're going to see if 16,450 can break. And if it does, then it's going to be very, very positive. Okay. So now we have Russell. Russell working weaker. And we're going to see how the market's going to react. I'm going to go back to these E-minis because, all right, so we're having a little bit of a pop. It might break 4,700. We'll see. All right. So now let's dive in and let's find out where the opportunities lie. Okay, so now we got the VIX. The VIX is working lower. That means that the market sees that there's less fear in the market. There's less put buying. So basically, that's working lower. If we can get to that 18 area, we're probably going to rip a little higher. So watch that. And overall, for the week, the VIX, the fear has been diminishing, which is pretty nice. And we broke the levels of last week, right? So last week, and we're probably going to go heading towards 2 weeks ago where fear was where we were. So that means that we're subsiding here. So that's good for the overall markets. Now, where are the opportunities today? So I'm getting text. All right. So the S&P 500, we rallied. Now, we're going to be looking at that 46.87 and then 46.95, 47.07 to get it going. Okay. So those are the moves there. But again, we're going to watch it at the open and find out whether this is real or not. Are they going to take it back up? If they take it above 46.97, 96, then there probably is going to go. Watch for the MACDs to turn and start breaking above zero and breaking these levels. Then it could probably run, and that might be a play for today. Nasdaq, same type of thing. Let's see how it reacts at that 50-day moving average. If it can break and hold 16,412, watch the MACDs. If the MACDs turn and show you a brand new set of MACDs and goes, and that probably can run for the day. But again, if it gaps open and the MACDs are turning lower, don't get into the play. It's going to be a fake out. So watch it. Again, Russell is probably going to gap up, has a long way to go at 22.55. Watch it there. Let's see how it reacts there. Google responding nicely. So we're not going to get the pre-market moves here, but Google's responding nicely. Google likes to move on Fridays. Let's see if it can rip. Again, we're at 29.78. Fresh at the MACDs, this can probably go if it breaks 29.80. How far is it going to go? It's probably going to go back up to 3,000. So 3,000 is a pretty strong headwind. And then you got 30.20. So those are the levels for Google if it can run today. Now, Amazon starting to rip. Pre-market, let's see if this thing can keep on going. 35.41 to keep it going, right? You got some headwinds right there. Let's say 35.47. If it goes, it's probably going to go to that upper level. Let's see. You got 35.63, definitely 35.89. So Amazon looks like it's probably going to rip. There's a lot of movement here occurring pre-market. Tesla moving pre-market. Again, there was a Twitter account that a tweet that Elon sent that should he quit all his jobs and become an influencer? Well, I don't know if he's joking or not, but if he ever decides to quit, then that can really hurt Tesla's stock because he's the guy behind Tesla. So watch out for his tweets. It'll definitely move the stock. But right now, the stock is reacting very positive to the CPI numbers. All right. So ISRG. ISRG, just right there. Let's see if this thing can start turning. But if it can take out that 346, it can probably run. Now, the other thing too, which I want to say about CPI numbers, the market's going to react and process this information all day long. So that's where you have to look at the levels and see if this is real or not. So again, a lot can change within the next half hour. Just watch the market, set up your trades as I'm noticing things are pulling back. Okay, so Chipotle, I like Chipotle. We set this one up. It had an off day today. This one probably has room to grow, to go up. This thing got sold off pretty hard. So again, if Chipotle can reverse here, start regaining that 1732, it can probably run. And I'm going to be watching this because if it breaks out that 1754, again, you got a huge number up here. 1754, you got 1731. Okay, so you have that. So now let's dive in and we're going to cover all these stocks. This is where the opportunities lie. This is the day trading system. Let's see what happens. Okay, so Land Research rally really nicely. Again, can it regain that 708? So again, it ran up quite nicely. FOMO trades up here. Now, is it going to come back here and sell off? Right? We're getting a fresh set of MACDs. It looks like it could run. Watch 708, watch 720, because if it takes that out, it can probably run. Now, Shopify reacting very positive. Now, I did like Shopify. It didn't sell off yesterday like the rest of the market. These guys came in with $2 billion in sales after Black Friday, and they're finally taking it up. So now, the thing about Shopify, this could run. We have a fresh set of MACDs. As I said yesterday, Shopify looks like it has a 100-point move coming and brewing. So could this be it? I don't know. 1503, that's a signal. Now, how do you know if it's going to take off? Well, 1536. If it can take that out, it's probably going to run. Okay, but 1536, 1539, those are the headwinds up there. If it takes that out, it's gone. It's gone. Watch for the MACDs. Let's see if MACDs start turning, don't get into the play and wait for the next entry. Okay. Netflix reacting positive below the 50. Let's see how it reacts. This is probably definitely going to touch the 50-day moving average. What happens there? Don't know, but let's see how it reacts there first. And if it can go, it probably is going to go to 630. Okay. Roku reacting positive. So yesterday the market took this one down. So, this was the play 2 days ago. I mentioned yesterday, but the MACD showed us weakness and the overall market was weak. So watch the overall market for signals to tell us what, because if the overall market's weak, nothing's really going to go unless they had like some newsworthy event like earnings or something like that. Now, Roku could maybe continue the good information of them re-signing with YouTube. Maybe it could run. So now if the market continues going higher, Roku could be a play right here. MACDs are midstream, so it came up, again, it started yesterday, they started buying it. And now, so what we're looking for here, if it breaks through, it can probably go to 266. We are midstream, meaning this swing is midstream right now. So, could go higher. Maybe it'll get a second win and pop again, or maybe it'll bounce. If it bounces, that's going to give us an entry to the upside. All right. Nvidia working its way higher, reacting positive to the CPI numbers. Again, this is a chip play. These guys did very well. And at 307, I think it's a very cheap. It's holding that $300 level. Sold off of that. Let me see. Sold off of that 325 level. Can this thing get running? Again, it's probably going to have a second win right now. So watch that. All right. What do we have? Mercado Libre. This one rallied. Can Can it turn around again? So maybe, possibly. Let's see how it reacts. Let's see maybe this one. I like Mercado Libre. It sold off yesterday because of the pre-CPI numbers and the market was declining. So let's see. This thing can come back here. Now, this can go either way. We got 1184, right? If it starts rallying, it can probably go to 1184. So if this starts turning, this could be a trade. If the MACDs tell you that this swing is over and it's starting a new swing up, then it could probably go to 1184 or where the 50-day moving average is going to meet. Now, if it breaks through, then you got a 1221. But if the MACD start turning and turning the other way, then this probably can move downward, and then it's probably going back to 1130. Apple. And this is what I mean. So we got very positive news reaction. We probably have another, what do we have? We have another 45 minutes. Let's see what happens if the market react. But right now in Apple, 175, they're taking it down. So let's see what happens there to Apple to get better. Needs to really take out these headwinds right here of 176. Now, if 176 goes, then it's probably going to run to probably 180. Not all in one day. This thing is a slow mover, but possibly right there. Or is it going to stay in this area? Okay, so Shopify looks like it wants to run. That's probably going to be on deck. Now, you got Trade Desk. Trade Desk looks good, right? This one, again, sold off. Trade Desk is good. This is an advertisement play. Again, we got a fresh set of MACDs about to run. Again, we are midstream, but it looks like it probably wants to go. Watch a pre-market 97. 100 is going to be pretty strong. It's right there. If it can take that out, it's probably going to go. Or is it going to sell off there and wait for the next setup? Again, don't force trades. Don't force trades. Just wait for the proper setups. Again, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is going to benefit. So let's see. That's what I stated in the Twitter account. If they raise interest rates a lot faster, and again, remember, Fedman Chairman Powell is speaking next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, he's speaking. And don't forget that, is he going to raise interest rates? Maybe, possibly, So who's going to benefit? Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs looks prime, looks ready. And, pre-market looks there. If it can take out that 400, it's probably going to run, maybe have a little run. Remember, you got little headwinds at that 402, and they did sell it off, if I notice right here. 403 can really get it going. But watch that. That's probably going to be a runner for today, especially if they're going to raise interest rates, right? All right. So you got Affirm. Now, Affirm is pretty simple. Are they going to take it up? This one was ran up again. If it can take out 128, but don't like the trade here. Could have a second win. Watch it at that 128 area. If it takes that out, can probably run. But there's probably better setups out there. Upstart looks ready, right? Upstart looks ready right there, 183. And then we got 197, 200. So 200, very strong number. But if it takes that out, it's probably going to run. It's having a second win. So this is the first win pre-market. Here's the second win. How far is that second win going to take it up there? My guess is probably 200, unless there's some really miraculous news and the people are super excited about Upstart. They're going to take it up today. Anything's possible, but again, we'll see. HubSpot, again, rally quite nicely. Again, this is the FOMO trade. Let's see how it reacts to that 762 area. MACDs are not, they look a little, dismal, but anything can happen in the next 30 minutes. Zoom. All right, so Zoom sold off. This is a sleeper, so we have to keep track of Zoom. Let's see how Zoom reacts to that 190. I'm going to put an alert up here just in case because I missed the deal last time. But it's going to have a second win. It might break 790. It could probably go to 198 if it starts breaking that. So that might be a play there, possibly. Not ideal, not a great, like not like the super plays that we like to see, but possibly a play. Bookings. All right, so travel stocks. Everything I read telling me that the Omicron is not that big of a deal. So let's see. So not saying it's not a big deal, just when I'm reading and just saying that there was mild symptoms. So travel stocks are still strong. What I'm telling you is travel stocks are not selling off if it was that big, if it was a threat or they perceived it as a threat and there's money's coming back in. So let's see on booking. This thing got sold off 22.96. and then it's got 23.24. The big number up here that we got is probably can run to about 23.65, 23.50. Let's say 23.50, but it looks like it's going to be a sleeper and it's starting to run. So if it takes out 23.93, this could be a play. So right there, this is exactly what I like, even though it's not at the zero bounce, but it could probably run, right? If this is a new swing starting out, just watch of the headwinds on top and watch of the overall markets. All right, service now, again, rallied. And this can be a sleeper too. There's not a lot of activity here, but it did sell off quite nicely. It could maybe turn and go back up to the 50-day moving average. I'm going to put an alert up here to let me know if it breaks through, because this thing can also run up a little higher. Coinbase taking it up. They sold this one off pretty hard, and I want you to make note of this. So when the market reacts negatively, just watch how Coinbase sold off. This is one that they sell off instantly. So 285 down to 258. That's a pretty significant sell-off. So now, what I like to do here, let it base, don't chase. Actually, I did a real cool little ticker sound, and let's see. So now, don't chase, let it base, and this is something here that we're going to do. Just what I mean by that, let's not rally it up, let it come back. This is way too high. So let it come back, let it base, let's see what happens. This might be a play to the downside. If this goes down, starts breaking down, MACD starts turning, then watch a play for 258. But again, watch the overall markets. There goes Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is probably going to be the play for today, because they're the ones that are going to benefit the most if high interest rates. The banks are, right? And Goldman Sachs, I'm going to go back and spend a little time with Goldman Sachs, because Goldman Sachs, if I go to a daily part, whoa, that looks bad. If I go to the daily part, look at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is trading within a range, and we're looking at the dailies on Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is right at the 50-day moving average. And if you know everything how we trade, if it breaks the 50, starts breaking that 401, you got a lot of moves up here. For my stock traders, if you're looking for a longer term play, this could be a play right here. If you're looking for a shorter term play, then basically you have now an hourly play right here, and Goldman Sachs looks good on the hourly, bouncing off the 50, fresh at the MACDs, and this is probably the play that I'm going to do today, because I love that play. So this is basically bouncing off the 50, and this is exactly what I like to see in a 15-minute time frame. But as you can clearly see, I like it in the hourly. If you like that and you like this play, press that like and press that subscribe button, guys, because this is probably going to be the one to go, right? So again, subscribe, like, but this is the one that I like right now. Look at that. Looks perfect and beautifully. It's let's see if it can take those headwinds. If it take out that 401, 403, it's probably going to run, and you got a nice little play right there. All right, so that was Goldman Sachs on the 50-minute time frame. Let it go. It's probably, just looks good. All right, so got excited about that. Coinbase, not so excited. Let's see how it's got a lot of headwinds up there. All right, and also follow Bitcoin. All right, so Qualcomm. All right, so I want to talk about the chips. The chips, man. Wow, wow, wow. So Avgo, another chip manufacturer, came out yesterday. I don't follow them, but again, they ran earnings. And what was their earnings play? Their earnings play was basically, guys, these guys, they did everything right. So everything you want from an earnings call, they did. One, they raised the dividends. Their dividends is now 13.8%. So if you're looking for a nice dividend yielding stock, this is one. Two, they are doing buybacks, right? So they got the money. And three, they guided up. There's a fourth one. They also said that the chip supply has stabilized, and again, but they raised their dividend yields. So these guys are rocking and rocking and rocking. So that kind of leads me to believe that the chip manufacturers, how bad are they? Right? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. How bad are they? Right? So again, it leads me to this play. INTU rallied quite nicely, had a chill day. So if you're looking to play the chips or the stocks, this is one right here. Watch for the 680. I'm going to put the alert up there. That can really get it going. It can regain the 50-day moving average. And again, if the MACD starts turning, breaks to 50, it can probably start running. Again, Qualcomm starting to rally, gapped up nicely, nice rally. Now, Qualcomm has a high level up there. If it can take out, right now it's stalling at that 184, can get 187. If you want to take that for a trade, watch that 187, but we're close to the 50-day moving average. ASML, I like ASML. It's at 777 right now. Let it base, don't chase. 790 to get it better. And then you got some headwinds up there at 810. You remember you got that 800 level up there. It looks like it wants to go, right? There's players coming in, a little selling off at 783, but ideal. Okay. AMD, second win at the 50. Can this thing get going? Can this rally keep going? Or is it going to come back down, retest the 50? Just watch it. Watch for 141, and he's got 146 on top. AMAT, another one. Again, just rallying, AMAT, 158. This is a little slow mover, but watch it. Lucid. So there was some positive news. Lucid was dealing with legal issues, right? So again, Lucid. Check the comments. Lucid. Let's see. Let it base. Don't chase it. Rivian, let it base. Don't chase it. 122 is super hard on this one. Roblex sold off pretty hard, and this is what I mean. Look what sells off pretty hard, where the market's reacting negatively. So again, let it chase. Don't base. We're pretty far up there. If you really need to trade this, 120 to get it going. It's probably gonna go to 126, but second win possibly, maybe. All right. What I wanted to spend some time here, I wanted to spend some time in the stocks, and this is the chip manufacturers right here. The stocks have been on fuego, right, this last quarter. We're pretty high up at that 4,000 area, so watch the stocks. You can also play the stocks. This is a daily play. Stocks is coming down. Let it pull back a little bit. Let's see how it reacts. All the chip manufacturers were on fire. Is it going to continue? Possibly. I think so, right? But if we look at Avgo rallied. I mean, look at this thing. This thing, and I was describing this with someone last night. We were having in this chat, but Avgo, the play here, if you follow what we trade on the 50-minute time frame, you can also do it on the daily. And this is what I mean. Bounce off the 50, MACD's turning. This is ideal. Memorize this setup right here. Memorize this setup because that's how we like to trade, right? This is a high probability trade, especially with the MACD's turning. Now, so number one, how do you trade this? One, write this down. Write it down. The trend is your friend. You always want to make sure which way is it heading. It's heading up. Number two, you want to make sure that you always want to take the trades at the 50-day moving average. Why? Because that's a high probability trade. Number two, are they buying it? And this is, number threes, right? Sorry. MACD's is just starting, so don't look at the blocks. Look at the lines. The blue line's faster than the white line. I have not changed the MACD's. The standard MACD's, moving average convergence and divergence. That's what it stands for. If it breaks through, this is telling me that this swing just started at the 50-day, and this is how you trade that. When do you get out? Well, I can't tell you that, but I can tell you when the swing ended, when the MACD's turned, and there it goes. It ended. It's up to you when to get in, to get out. But what I'm noticing, these swings are probably not going to be, this is an exhaustion swing. It probably needs to pull back, even though it's higher, but it's probably going to pull back, meet the 50-day at some moment of time. Okay, so that's Avgo. How would you trade Avgo? Because these guys killed it. All right, so if you want to take out, we're pretty far away from the 50, so not an ideal trade. But if you really want an exhaustion swing that they're probably going to sell into it, look at 627. If this starts turning, but just realize they're going to sell into this thing. So that means you have to be quick and fast if you're going to get into this thing. Now, if we look at the hourlies, here we go. Hourlies probably going to pull back. All right, so forget about Avgo. But the other one too that I liked, RH. Let's see how RH is doing. And RH was one that had great earnings recently and killed their earnings. This is Restoration Hardware. But not a play here. Okay, 15-minute time frame. I thought it would. It'll be a continuation pattern, but nothing really here. All right, so let's go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin. All right, so now everybody's calling me, texting about, hey, what about Bitcoin? Okay, I like Bitcoin. I get it. You're excited. It's cheap right now. Remember, don't chase, let it base. So what are we doing? So again, let it base. And what am I mean by that? I'm going to send you a little reminder here. Again, don't chase, let it base. Here it is. Guys, real simple. And I'm going to zoom into it because I want you guys to get this. No, that's MicroStrategy. Don't want that one. I want Bitcoin. All right. So real simple. Okay. So we know it needs to come back to the 50, and that's Still, I'm not really super positive on Bitcoin, but if you really want to get into it and you want to see some green in your account, it's holding the VWAP pretty nicely. And that's a really strong VWAP. So again, if you really want to get into it, 52,135, 52,135. What do I mean by that? That's where they sold it off recently. All right. If it can take that out, it's probably going to go to that level, which is around the 50-day moving average. What happens there? I don't know. Again, so that's the other level we're going to be looking at. But if this is real, if this candle is real, and we see buyers coming back in, and we see the momentum shifting, because we're closer to the end than the beginning, right? We could have another wind down. I don't know. But again, for you to stay green, it needs to break up. If it breaks 52, that means the MACDs are going to break higher and there'll be a new momentum swing higher. How long does that last? I don't know. It could last like this, right? Or it can last maybe this could be the one. But again, if for a trade, you can probably add there a little bit and then definitely above the 50-day moving average. If we get the MACDs really breaking through, then there's going to be a lot of buying occurring on Bitcoin. But again, we're below that 50,000 there, which 50,000 is a nice strong number, but 52 right there. That's on Bitcoin. All right. If you like that, subscribe and share, guys. Like, share this news, share the glory, because we've been calling Bitcoin way back when. Way back when. All right. So MicroStrategy, if Bitcoin breaks through, if Bitcoin breaks through, then MicroStrategy is going to do well. Now, this is MicroStrategy, follows Bitcoin. This is Michael Saylor's company. If it can break right here, if the MACD start breaking, it can probably go to 648. This is the weeklies, and maybe it can start rallying a little bit higher, maybe 688, somewhere in there. Now, Ethereum holding pretty strong below the 50. Looks a little bit weaker. So means that the bears a little bit in control. But again, they're fighting for this one. This one is holding pretty strong. 39.60, pretty strong. But there's a fight occurring right now. Who's winning? Don't know yet. The bulls are trying to give it a fight here. And again, but it's below the 50. It needs to regain that 50-day moving average, or it's going to sell off. How long is this going to go? Who knows? But somebody eventually is going to win. Right now, the MACD's time momentum is going a little lower, but that can shift anytime. But just stand clear right there. All right, guys, I'm going to go back to the futures because I'm excited for today. And again, is this a real pop? Again, we're going to be watching that level. The level to watch today on the futures is 46.73. Again, on the news, a lot of, again, you don't want to be hyped up on anything right now because, again, they can take it up and then it can take it back down. Those CPI numbers, those are pretty hot. Those are pretty hot. And then eventually the market's going to dissect this information. And remember, we got Fed Bank Chairman Powell speaking next Wednesday. So anything can change. And we also have an XPX rebalance occurring and the X rebalance and the Russell rebalance occurring next week as well. So there'll be a lot more volatility entering into the marketplace. And you're in the middle of a roll week. All right. So what do I mean by XPX roll week? Is basically where the XPX futures or traders start rolling out of this quarter's entries and rolling into next quarter. So it'll be a lot more volatility occurring. But the VIX right now holding that 19. That looks good. All right, guys. Any questions here? Where we're at? It is 9:04. Okay, not bad. Where am I here? We're right there. All right. So let me see. All right, guys, go out there, stay green, go get it. If you want to follow, I'll be doing the follow-up and TradingView. If you want to go there, that's pretty easy. Just go to YouTube right there, hit that link. It's going to be at 12 o'clock. And that's where we follow up on the opportunities. And if you want to follow and share, please subscribe, share. Thank you so much. We're getting to subscribe. I'm doing it organically. We started only with 25 members and now it's growing. Good job. Share this wealth, share this information. And we have a lot more things cooking in the horizon. We want to make sure to get you up to speed, to learn. We want to make sure we get beginner traders on here to trade correctly and make sure they take the high probability type of trades, and also to show you where the opportunities lie. I know it's a little bit advanced, but guess what? This is like that old karate movie, you know, wax on, wax off. The more you watch it, eventually you're going to learn and pick up on the information that we're laying down. All right, guys, go out there, stay green. God bless. Go get it and have an amazing weekend. I'll see you at 12 o'clock. Stay green. And all right, go out there, go get it.